Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mia Mosinzia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show at paypal.com/Mike Wagner voiceover. Also on Anchor FM, just click the support. If you're looking for some great merchandise to purchase for your loved one, holiday occasion, whatever, just go to Amazon.com/The Mike Wagner Show or Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia. Do it today. We're here with a wonderful lady who's backed by popular demand. And yes, she's a fit model. She's an author. She's also a documentary filmmaker and an advocate, actress, host, and it's a king school. I could go on and on all day, but she was author of She's the Last Model Standing and producer of Model with a Mission and a former Studio 54 fixture and described as the Kathy Griffin of fashion. And she also had some ventures. Last we talked, she just got started with pandemic cooking that has taken off dramatically. And now she's got a couple of the projects in the works and also a brand new podcast. So a lot is happening since we talked. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown New York City, the very popular and amazing, she returns. And yes, she is the last one standing, and a good reason, Wendy Stuart Kaplan. Wendy, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us once again.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you may be in this world, if you're listening in. Mike, that was truly an amazing introduction. You did not miss one thing, not one thing to describe me. You hit every single one of them. There's nothing left for me to say. Just kidding. You know, I'll always.
Well, like I said, I've got a king scroll, and if you have something to add, feel free to do so. I mean, you basically just add on a couple of things, and as I mentioned that. Whew, my goodness, I got to do the king scroll again. Fit model, author, documentary filmmaker, advocate, actress, and
when you and I last met it was June. I think it was like the very beginning of June, right? And I had been on your show to talk about the show I invented when they shut down New York called Pandemic Cooking with Wendy, which is now, sit tight, 99 episodes. I've shot 99 episodes.
Whoa, 99 episodes since June?
99 episodes on my YouTube channel. And that show, as you said, it really took off. I think people just love the fact that not only the recipes, which are easy and economical to make, but it's a comedy show. It really is. I'm not a cook. I'm the first one to say it. I live in New York. I used to be able to order out a lot more. Now we've gotten back to normal a little bit, so I can have food delivered. But I started this cooking show because I thought, what could be better to bring people together, right? Food is love, cooking is love, and I'm a comedian. And me trying to cook when I don't cook, that was it. So that show started on March 13th. They shut New York down March 12th, and March 13th, I stood in my kitchen and said to my husband, we got to come up with something, because he's a cinematographer on our movies. And I said, we got to do something. Our whole industry shut. And I said, I'll do a cooking show. And he said, but Wendy, you don't cook. I said, exactly. What could be better than somebody cooking that doesn't cook? And Mike, it gave me such an opportunity. You named all the different things I do. In my show, I can wear my crazy wigs. I can become other characters. I can create scenarios where I travel as a flight attendant. I call her Pandemic Pam. I have a flight attendant outfit. And then the following episode, I was somebody from India. So Pandemic Pam flew to India with all her passengers that were very unruly. I created a scenario where they were all being taken off the plane in handcuffs because none of them would stay in their seats when they were supposed to. All kinds of things were going on in the restroom. It was insane. And then the next episode was cooking Indian food, right? And I shared all that with people that had traditional Indian costume on. So for anyone listening, you can get the drift. I become a character, and I have a really great time. I shoot it in my own little kitchen. And yeah, here we are, 99 episodes. But what has come from this is what's so crazy. I was invited onto so many speaking engagements, other people's podcasts, co-hosting. And I guess it was in July, I came up with the idea with another person. I do a lot of non-for-profit work, and I work with an LGBTQ. And I thought this is a wonderful opportunity to come up with a show called Triversity Talk, where we would feature pertinent topics in the LGBTQ community, but all over the world. So the beauty of it, the beauty of live streaming, you and I can be here together. You are freezing up near Bismarck, and I'm in New York complaining about 17 degrees. Okay?
17 degrees to 17 below. And the one thing I say is, thank God nobody is naked at this time. You'd be like, shut down, shut down.
That would be amazing. So in July, I started that other show and brought in people coming in from all over the country for that one, because we can do that now. And then right around, I want to say November, I was trying to help my friend's restaurant. It's called Pangea in New York. And as you know, we were either partially opened and then we shut down. And I thought, what could be better than to have a talk show? Because they have hosted so many people that you've heard of, like Debbie Harry from Blondie. I could just go right down a list of people that have been there. And I thought, how cool to do a show from here and call it If These Walls Could Talk, because they could.
Yes.
Right? With all rock and roll people and cabaret performers, actors. So that's exactly what happened. I'm hosting that podcast with Tim Moss. We do that on Wednesdays at 3:00, soon to move to 2:00. But we had Leland Sklar on yesterday.
Oh yeah, Leland Sklar is my favorite. We love Leland Sklar.
Oh
right?
my God,
we love him. We love you. We love you, Leland. We love you.
That's right. This is so great. Are you in Leland's book? He's got 6,000 photographs of people giving the finger.
Oh, you know something? I haven't done so yet, but I was going to send it to him. But for some reason, those little gremlins just kind of took it away. It's just like, we're going to do some surgery on your fingers. Yeah. But I'll manage to sneak my way through. I've been petitioning to Leland and say, maybe come up with a volume 2, maybe do like a double shot or something. So, yeah.
That's the plan. But I've had on Ian Gurin, I've had on Leland Sklar, Scott Page from Pink Floyd and Toto, just to name a few. So it's been unbelievable. And the beauty of it is that show, I do go to the location of the restaurant, which thank goodness they're going to be able to open up 25% Sunday, Valentine's Day.
25.
Our numbers are down low in New York. So things are opening up somewhat. So I love doing the show from there. It's so great to be able to talk, and I'm preaching to the converted here. How cool is it? We love what we do because we can talk to people from all walks of life. And it's so interesting to hear what's going on in where you are or where I am. Oh, I got a question for you, being that it's burning inside of me, Mike. This is it. Do you have a lot of moose by you?
A lot of moose only up in Minot, which is 50 miles close to the Canadian border. They got more hockey pucks coming that are moose that do flock the area, because up in northern Minnesota, it's where it's just getting warm, hardly any snow. The moose are like, no snow, it's too warm. What will we do? And of course, Rocky be like, hey, or no, Bull goes, Rocky, should we stay in northern Minnesota or go to North Dakota?
What do we
Oh,
do?
oh, Uncle, I think you should go to North Dakota because that's where the other moose is going. Oh, gee, Rock, I think you're so right. But then you got Natasha and Boris over there. It's like right by Canadian border. He goes, Boris, I heard the moose and squirrel are coming to North Dakota by Canada. And then you got is it Boris who goes, don't worry, Natasha. We got some hockey pots. They'll be like bombs. And then Bo, we're gonna take a hockey stick and just shoot it back at them and whack them and the bomb goes off right by Canadian border.
I'm okay, Mike. I am totally impressed that you not only could do every voice, but you created an entire scenario. That's impressive. And all I said was moose.
And yes, there are moose up in North Dakota as well too, especially on the northern part, like mainly up in Minot, where we go almost like a second city just to do something different. My son likes to go to Minot just to rollerblade through downtown, go through the malls and whatever else. It's like Bismarck, but it's just totally different, maybe a bit smaller, but yeah, it's like, there's like a different breed that's over there. And yes, there are moose that do flock around that northern part of the state, but none in Bismarck in the southern part. It's too warm. And you go,
Too warm for the moose.
warm. And they go up there and goes, oh, it's just right. That's what the moose are thinking. But of course, a word to the wise, don't pet the moose, please. It's like, they'll more than headbutt you. It's like,
oh, they're big head butter. You know about moose. They're one of my favorite animals. That's why I brought up moose.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and they're wonderful animals, but yeah, just don't get them angry and don't get them too close. Or it's just like, then again, what's worse, having a encounter with a moose, you really get angry, or being shoved in the elephant dung. That's another thing. So
well, speaking of elephants, as you know, I've made small films and bigger films, but one of them was about taking care of elephants in Arataya, Thailand, at a place called Elephant Stay.
mm-hmm.
It is amazing that a person can go there and each person's given their own elephant. And you take care of that elephant from early in the morning until late at night. And let me tell you something, Mike, you want to talk about elephant dung? I could write a book on elephant dung, because my 5th day there, I was just hiding in my little place where I was staying. I heard them calling my name, that it was time to take care of Pissamy. That was her name. And it is these things, they not only like eat nonstop, you got to brush them off. Then you take them to the river. They like to go to the river. Then they dunk up and down in the river with you on their back. You take your life in your hands. I don't even want to know what's in that river water. Well, I did find out once because I got deathly ill. Okay. I didn't wash my hands enough, but taking care of it, these elephants, was unbelievable. It is really actually an incredible experience. And I don't have to tell you how amazing a baby elephant is. Mm-hmm. And they're smart. Okay, they're smarter than moose. How about that? Did you know?
Well, that's a given. I mean, you could tell by Rocky and Bullwinkle that the squirrel's smarter than the moose. You know that, unless he gets corner or pinned, and then they get smart and everything else. But you're right, though. So yeah.
Elephants are smarter than the moose, but it's such, for anybody that loves wildlife, to be able to do that kind of experience is so incredible. Now, I don't know if we spoke the last time I was on, but about our film about gorilla and chimpanzee rescue.
I think you did, but of course you can always give a recap as well too. So you can.
It's just a great story. I had met 2 women in New York at the Explorers Club, where I'm a member, and there's only 3,400 people in the world. It's scientists and filmmakers, people that do exploration, that are members, and we have wonderful lectures there. So I heard 2 different women speak, both from Cameroon, where they had set up these rescue centers. So what is a rescue center, right? It's a place where, when the gorilla is lost its mother or father, or a chimpanzee loses its mother or father, they have volunteers to help take care of this primate, right? And assimilate them back into primate society. And by that, I mean they cannot be re-released. Mm-hmm. They've had human contact. You just can't take and dump them off in the forest and hope for the best. They will be poached again. So a rescue center contains like 4-acre enclosures where a chimp can meet with other chimps and become part of a chimp family.
Wow.
I mean, come on, how cool is that? You know, they say you don't get to pick your relatives, but I got to tell you, with these kind of foster care programs, they do. And it's not such an easy thing to match up a chimp with the right family, because like the way we are, well, you know, I'm sure you have relatives in your family that, you know, that don't get along with other people.
Oh yeah, I've been
Oh
there and
yeah.
done that. In-laws, wherever else. I've been with other people. They fight with their in-laws. In-laws fight with their in-laws. Aunts and uncles fight and everything else. And I did weddings and parties as a MC, you know, a while back, master ceremonies, and I've seen it where it's just like, two families don't get along or whatever, and one of them come up, hey, you're doing a great job, except the problem is we don't get along, so don't take it personal. So it's just like
So,
I completely
so
understand the story. Yes.
yeah, and it puts you in a crazy position. Well, I got to tell you, gorillas and chimpanzees are very much like us. Let's face it, they share 97% of our DNA. So, in order for the baby to start to fit in, by the time the baby's a year old and has been raised by people, the baby's slowly introduced to families.
Mm-hmm.
It may not work with the first family. You know, the guys want to show who's the alpha male, just like in real life, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
Chimps will war. Okay.
Drama.
Right. There's I would say drama. When you talk about gorillas, you're talking about drama because they are very sweet. I found chimpanzees a lot more, I don't know, diabolical. The gorillas they're more chill. They're a little more accepting, but only a little. But yeah, we're talking about, you know, primates with intense social structures that are like ours. So we decided to make a film about that. And it's
Mm.
called Whisperers and Witnesses, Primate Rescue in Cameroon. So the whisperers are the people that work, like a guy named Apollinaire worked with the gorillas. He was the one person that could get in that 4-acre enclosure, and they completely accepted this human being as
Mm-hmm.
part of their family. This huge animal would not turn on him at all.
Wow.
Me, on the other hand, there was one jealous of me. She stood there, you know, like when King Kong pounds. She
Oh.
did that. It was, and I'm like, what is she doing? He says, oh, maybe good idea for you to move back. She doesn't like you. I'm like,
Yeah,
how can
stand
you
back
not?
and don't go bananas.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I like the banana joke in there. But, you know, she was obviously jealous of me. So you really have to pay attention to their signals. So we made a film about the gorillas, the chimpanzees, and the two women that started these rescue centers. Because
Hmm.
let's face it, one was from the UK, one is from Oregon. Dr.
Wow.
Sherry Speed from Oregon, and then Rachel Hogan from the UK. The
Mm-hmm.
two rescue centers were Ape Action Africa with Rachel Hogan and Sherry Speed from Sanaga Young Chimpanzee Rescue. These are extraordinary people. And this is one of the things I love to talk about. We meet such extraordinary people in this world, right?
Hmm.
Let's make films about them. Let's have them as guests on our show. They're doing incredible thing. And not only that, it's so positive and so
Mm-hmm.
great to share. You know, the pandemic might put people into a funk, and I have to tell you, for
Mm-hmm.
obvious reasons. And I won't sugarcoat it ever, but I will tell you, I look for those incredible stories out there of people that are rising up even with this going on and trying to make a difference in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And these women, you know, through this entire pandemic, they are in Cameroon. And I will tell you something, they have to be super careful because gorillas and chimpanzees can catch a lot of the stuff that we have. There are now cases of chimpanzees getting coronavirus, but
Really?
they don't get as sick as we do, which is
Mm-hmm.
really
Now,
interesting. So
now, this
that's,
is like the same coronavirus that we have, or is it a different type of coronavirus with the chimpanzees?
it is in molecular structure extremely similar because
Really?
what do they call it? I never get this word right. Zoo genetics or zoonotics,
Zo-
where we can
Zoonotics, zoology. It's
Right.
yeah,
It
something
begins
like that.
with zoo, but where we can pass on, you know, when people go on these gorilla excursions, you hear about people trekking to see gorillas, they have to wear face masks. When I was around the baby chimpanzees, I had to have a face mask on the whole time.
Wow.
So, yeah, people don't know that. My first pictures of me in a mask were with the baby chimpanzee
No.
because they can catch what we have. They can
Really?
catch it from us. So yeah, that's a little I love interesting factoids. That's an
Hmm.
interesting factoid. But yeah, You got to be careful.
Since we're on the subject of diseases as well, too, talking about the coronavirus, and what are some of the other diseases that chimpanzees can catch, and what are some that us humans can catch, but yet the chimpanzees can't?
Well, chimpanzees and gorillas can catch flu from us, pneumonia, very, very common. Okay, respiratory infections. It's interesting because there is definitely a crossover. For us, I don't think, being around them, if we didn't have a mask on, we can catch something from them unless they bit us. But I bet you there's
Oh,
an expert out there listening that probably says, no, 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 Wendy, you're wrong. And I'm totally open to it. I'm learning every day. I am completely, this is going to sound crazy, Mike. I am fascinated by this whole pandemic thing. I've been fascinated by this virus from the beginning because we're all here. We hear all kinds of stories, bats. It started with bats. Then you hear it was given to a pangolin and then a person caught it from bat. I don't know what's what, but think about it. What's going on in our earth. We're so industrialized now. We're living closer with animals.
mm-hmm.
And don't think that's not going to take its toll. During the pandemic, I'm sure you heard the stories that I did. Like there were wild boars running through cities in Europe. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
come on, when did you ever have? Oh, this week, maybe you heard this. It made national news 2 weeks ago in Central Park, right here in New York City. A snowy owl landed on a part of Central Park where people play sports. How did that happen?
A
That's so
snowy owl.
a snowy owl. They're gorgeous. You know what they look like. Of all the owls, they're one of the most beautiful. This enormous thing landed in a ball field. Why on earth would that happen? All right. We
Wow.
recently there was another sighting, coyote. So what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
See where you are, the part of the world or country you're in is not so populated yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but as we had all those fires in California, so animals that got out, where did they go?
Mm-hmm.
Where our wildlife is getting closer and
Right.
closer and closer to
And,
us.
and, and of course, talking about some of the animals that are running loose, we've had some wolves and coyotes coming down from Canada,
Yeah,
into North Dakota because, it's mainly wildfires and all the
yeah,
natural disasters. And sometimes you got home builders that just, see open land, goes, hey, we got some open land. Let's build some houses, build an
that's what's going
office,
on.
or build
Mhm.
a stadium, whatever. It pretty much takes out a lot of their habitat. And they have to go find somewhere else or they'll survive. And the most unusual thing I saw is that you have pelicans that originate from the Gulf of Mexico, and all of a sudden you see a bunch of pelicans up in North Dakota over
Get
by
out.
the between Bismarck and Jamestown, and I think it's in. I can't think of one of the lakes. It's oh gosh, I can't think
Pelicans
of it.
in a lake up in northern
In North
Dakota.
Dakota, yes, and it's like we're driving on I-94, and I can't. It's what was it, Medina or something? And here's like this lake, and we're driving to Fargo, and here's like these group of pelicans. I'm like, what are they doing here? Then I found out that when they had that disaster, what was it, Hurricane Katrina, or it's like you had that big oil spill that
The oil spill, right?
right, oil spill. It took out a lot of their habitat, and the majority just flew. And I think that a lot of them end up in North Dakota. I went, that is unusual. You see pelicans all over the South, and they come north. And of course, you got the geese
I'm
coming in
wondering
from
how
Canada.
did they adapt to the winter, Mike? Like, what did they do? They just slap on a parka and call it a day?
Well, they probably have some jambalaya or something, or mint juleps maybe too. But they're probably heading towards like the little warmer parts, like South Dakota, maybe Nebraska, or say by Wyoming, Yellowstone, wherever it is. But then in the summer, it's like you see the pelicans up there. It's like it's beautiful though. I have to say, it's like just watching them. And of course, you got bald eagles out just flocking all over too. It's like you see nest after nest after nest after nest driving. And one time, and they're so agile too that I was
I'm
driving my
familiar.
son,
I love
my
them.
I was driving my boys to Taekwondo, and here's this bird coming at us. It's like this, and all of a sudden he sees a car, 90-degree angles. Like they're like, "What was that?" He goes, "I think that was an eagle." It was like it goes like this, 90-degree angle just to get out of the
Sharp.
way. I'm like, sharp, yes. very
Wow.
sharp bone. That is so amazing. It's like,
They're amazing. They're really, really magnificent. I go to Pennsylvania on the weekends because I got to get out of New York, right?
mhm.
We have an incredible, the part of Pennsylvania I go to, Milford, which is on the New York, New Jersey border. That was the area where they started building up the eagle population. I want to say 8 years ago,
Oh wow.
not that long ago, right? 8 years ago, you can go down that Delaware, Mike, and they're in the trees and they're magnificent birds. And right in town, there was a eagle that nested right up at the on top of a telephone pole.
Oh
The
my
nest was
gosh.
up there for I know. So firsthand, I love eagles and I get to see them. But speaking of birds of prey, let me tell you what happened this week. I have a friend that stays with me out in Pennsylvania, and I'm not there during the week. I'm in New York. So he sends me a picture. He said, Wendy, there's an owl outside of your house. So I'm thinking, like you would be, okay, up in a tree, right?
Mhm.
The owl was in a bush outside my living room window. And the
Wow.
right. And I'm looking, I blow the picture up. It's a small owl. Now we know that baby owls aren't born in the winter. I thought to myself, a screech owl. And the next thing Timothy sends me is a little video of the owl out of the bush in front of my house. And now he's on the snow and he's flapping his wings.
Wow.
So I said to Timothy, that is not okay when a bird does that. I called up, we have a wildlife rescue center in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, Pocono Wildlife Rescue Center. I got somebody, thank God I did. And she said to me, that is a screech owl and they are starving this winter. Starving
Really?
because yes, we're getting hit here with really deep snows. And this is what I learned. The owls need to be able to see the mice on the ground. If
Oh yes.
yeah, right. You learn something every day. If the snow is really high, then they can't. We had 3 feet almost out in Pennsylvania.
Oh my
So
goodness.
this poor guy was in trouble, and I said to her, what can we do?" She's about an hour from me. She said, "Well, maybe if your friend can get him and put him in a box with a towel over him, you can get somebody to bring him to me, right? Because my friend couldn't drive there." And I'm thinking, I'm going to call an Uber. Okay, yeah, this is like this is how I think. I'm an animal lover, Mike. I'm gonna call an Uber, and you know what? I won't care because I always believe if you put money out there for a good thing, it comes back to you twofold.
Mhm.
I'll save this life, and I'll talk them into taking the bird to the wildlife center. Well, my friend brings it in my house with the towel and a cardboard box, and then goes to check on the bird. 15 minutes later, he was gone. So you
Wow.
know what? We couldn't save him. What can I say? But to people out there, you need to know that in the winter, especially in the Northeast here, we're getting hit really bad. That these birds, if you feed birds, continue to feed them. The owls, in particular, screech owls, are having a really hard winter, really rough
Mhm.
time.
And of course, let the mice as well out too, and then the cats can get them as well too. So, we
Right.
do have some mice. We got prairie dogs too. They're almost like mice, and
Get out! You have prairie dogs?
prairie dogs, yes, and they're cute
Oh,
little
my
creatures. They
favorite.
bury under, but then the big problem is they chew up telephone lines, cables, and
Yeah, they
also
do.
get into gardens underneath and disrupt things, and even sewers. But it's like they're cute, but then you got hunters out there. It's like a little bit of target practice or give
I know.
something to do. But yes, it's like we got something similar. We'd have cats that try to chase those things, and they're more elusive than mice, but they're fun to just watch them roam around and watch the cats try to go after them too.
And
Maybe even the
they
dogs
sit up like they do the sit up, right? Like this.
like
Oh
that.
my
Yeah.
God, you got it down. Look at us, we're bonding over prairie dog position. But they are the cutest. But yeah, they could really evade a cat. Come on, they can really, really move.
Oh yeah, and especially on the western half as well too, along with the bison, along with the pheasants, the quails, and whatever else, and they're just all over the place, and they thrive in that stuff. You go up a little bit northwest by Montana, yeah, they have a little fun with the rattlesnakes up there, but I don't want to talk about rattlesnakes right
Oh, I
now.
don't want to talk about. We have them in Pennsylvania. I've seen them. I don't want to talk about rattlesnakes. But all this talk has made me. When I spoke to you last, did I tell you about the film that we had started doing? It was about rescue dogs. It was
Rescue
called
dogs, yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's called Working Dogs: A Love Story. So
Oh,
we had started to edit it, and we had done a lot of interviews with people that had rescue dogs that helped them get their insulin, rescue dogs that were their canine companions. One journalist who had epilepsy, the dog knew when the person was going to have a seizure and would scratch his arm to take the medication, right?
Wow.
It is unbelievable. We went out with a canine unit, which is so cool. I love the canine patrols. And they had a bloodhound, and they said this bloodhound is helpful in finding people that might be contemplating suicide that might go off. Alzheimer's. You know how we're always hearing there's a missing senior with Alzheimer's? These dogs are used to track down those people. And the police officer, a woman, said to me, she said, I'm going to let the dog Dixon smell your glove. And then I want you to run away as far as you can. And I'm going to let Dixon off the leash and find you. And I'm like, okay, I got to give this a test, right? So I am not kidding you. I must have run a quarter of a mile and hid behind a barn. And all of a sudden I hear, you know, blood. Yeah, you know the second you can do it. Go do it. Do it. Yeah, I knew you could do it. That's a great bloodhound. I hear it and it's getting louder and louder and louder. And boom, he finds me and he jumps up. He's huge with both paws on me. And he was just so happy that he had found me. The way it works with bloodhounds, and this is such a cool, I told you I like cool little factoids. It takes your scent and you know all those wrinkles, when it snips your glove or your scarf, the scent gets stuck in the wrinkles.
Really?
Yeah, and when they run, it's the breeze making the scent go into their nose. I mean, come on, is that not right? So that is part of our film. We talked with people that had PTSD and how their dogs helped them, what a difference it's made in their lives. We thought we were done with the film and we had gotten an editor, and then the pandemic happens. And I start taking my little dog out, and I'm talking to all, you know, New Yorkers, sometimes they can either be great or not friendly. My neighborhood, sometimes people with dogs not friendly. All of a sudden, not only is everybody friendly, they've all got dogs that they've rescued from shelters or what I call pandemic puppies. And they're out walking their dogs. We've all got our masks on and people are talking. And all of a sudden, those barriers that human beings have, they're all broken down because of these dogs. And people will tell you how emotionally this dog has affected them. So I said to Alan, we've got to do another part to this movie called Pandemic Puppies. So that is, we're almost got that wrapped up. And yeah, I'm hoping next year, you know, we like to put our films in film festivals. They've all been online this year. I sure am hoping we can get out there and be, you know, in public next year and do our film launches. I love going to film festivals, you know, and it's great that we could do them online this year, but I miss the out there. I miss being out there.
And of course, miss the red carpets as well too, and all the glamour and everything else. Of course, you can do it virtually online. So we're looking forward to what you have as well too. We'll talk about the two things that got you going. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking a budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mohsen Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon and ebook and paperback as well. Missing by Mia Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and even endorsed and loved by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy. Available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Heard worldwide on Geo 7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And show your love and support for the Mike Wagner Show. Just send your love to paypal.com/Mike Wagner voiceover or Anchor FM/support. And if you want some great gift ideas, check out Amazon.com/Mia Mosenzia for great merchandise and his books. And if you want the Mike Wagner t-shirt and more, just go to Amazon.com/Mike Wagner Show and make sure you order today. We're here with the very wonderfully talented Wendy Stuart here on the Mike Wagner Show. And of course, a fit model, author, documentary filmmaker, advocate, actress, and host. And the two things that got her started, a model with a mission. And yes, she's the last model standing. And tell us about those two that really got you going.
Okay, so before I wrote my book, She's the Last Model Standing, which is available on Amazon, I had auditioned for a show called Ms. Adventure on Animal Planet, right? And they wanted somebody that was adventurous, and I had been making these small little videos going to remote parts of the world, right? Like the Amazon, and showing how howler monkeys were losing their lives. I love exposing what's happening to people and animals in other parts of the world. And I had found myself in the Amazon so many times, and I thought, you know what, I'm doing something that nobody else is doing, and I need to get this information out there. So I was considered for a show on Animal Planet called Ms. Adventure, which I did not get. So it takes the rejection, right? When you think you're totally right for something, and the powers that be think you're totally wrong for something. Okay. Right? We've all been there. This is a lesson in perseverance. And I said to my husband, you know what? There is nothing stopping me from going ahead and shooting and going anywhere I want in the world and doing this and keeping my budget low, right? People take vacations every year. I, at that point, with Model with a Mission, would pick a place, literally, Mike, like throwing a dart at a dartboard, and pick a place that I thought would be great. For instance, I went to India because I wanted to find out, why are cows, like, what makes a cow so sacred? And I had read things about how cows are just lifted up spiritually. They're worshipped, right? Why is that? You know, in our country, cows are like moo moo. That's it.
Moo moo, milk, hamburger, all that, and like that, and they just stand there. And of course, the biggest prank, it's like you tip them over and they can't do anything about it.
Oh my God, you've done cow tipping.
No. I've heard stories. It's like, I personally haven't done. I'd probably get squished if I tried it.
Really? I'm a city girl. I wouldn't try cow tipping. But so I go to India, and one of the towns we were in, Varanasi, which is in the Ganges, where everyone knows the Ganges. It's where someone, when they die, they want to be cremated in the Ganges and have their ashes on the river. Very holy place, holy men everywhere. So I go into a dress shop there in this hustly bustly town, and it was a very nice dress shop, may I add. The floors were beautiful. Ooh. And I had a guide, and I said to him, what is that? In the middle of the dress shop is an enormous bull. And that's no bull, an enormous bull with huge horns laying down on the floor in front of a statue. And my guide says to me, oh, he comes here every day. That is a statue of Shiva. It used to be in a temple, but the temple fell apart. So they took it away and they built this store here. And now he comes and worships. And I thought, I'm a very open person, but I'm like, oh my God, this is a good one.
Or as I say, what a bunch of bull Shiva.
Right. So I said to him, I said, you're kidding me, right? He says, no, he is here every day. I'm like, and then I asked the telltale question. I say, okay, he's here every day. Like, does he come at the same time? I'm a New Yorker. New Yorkers ask questions. Does he come at the same time? And he said to me, yes, he is at the same time every day. I said, if I come back tomorrow, he's going to be here. He said, oh, yes. He said, as a matter of fact, so it's 3:00 in the afternoon. He said, you can watch him on his approach. He'll come at like 20 to 3, 2:45. And I said, game on. Okay. So my husband and I went with a video camera, and we're standing in front of this dress store, and our guide meets us there. And all of a sudden it's like 2:45, and the streets, India is teeming with people, right? People on top of each other. All of a sudden I'm outside the dress shop, and this is the God's honest truth. And I've told this story to many people. the people start parting in the middle of the sidewalk, Mike,
Wow.
to either side. And who starts coming down but the bull?
Oh my gosh.
It's like, skipping the light fantastic on the sidewalk, and everyone gets out of his way because he's very well respected and everybody knows him. And he stops in front of the steps to the dress store where I am, and he comes over to me and he puts his head against me, and my guide goes, "Oh, he has chosen you." I'm like,
You are the chosen one.
I was chosen, and I know he was blind in one eye, and he stood there with his head pressed next to me. And I said to the guide, "What should I do?" I was actually really taken aback, or a bull, or whatever you want to call it. I really didn't know what to do. It was actually a spiritual and magical and unexplained all at the same time. And he said, "You can pet him. That is why he wants you to."
Whoa, interesting.
It was unbelievable. And the thing had huge horns, right? So I'm petting his face, and I said to the guide, "How do I know when to stop?" He said, "He will let you know." So I'm petting him, and then all of a sudden, gently with his nose, he gives my hand a nudge, and I put it down, and he looks at me with his one good eye. I didn't know what to say. I'm like, "Oh, it's been really nice meeting you. I mean, what do you say? Who are you ever going to be in this situation with?" And he goes up the 6 stairs to the dress shop, into the door. The doors were left open for him. He comes the same time every day, and he lays down in the middle of the dress shop. Those are the kind of experiences I have had. That's why I do what I do. And they're right. And if my book, all of these stories are in my book. She's the last model standing. And I'm sorry, I have like 4 minutes because I have to leave to go do one of my shows, but I want to get everything in. Ask me, Mike, what do you want me to tell? Everything and anything.
That's fine. Okay, I was just going to say we're going to take a quick time out, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs, and also brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Motionzia of the book Missing, available on Amazon and paperback. And we'll be back with Wendy Stuart after this quick time out on the Mike Wagner Show. We're back with Wendy Stuart here on the Mike Wagner Show with the last model standing, model with a mission, and of course a whole list: fit model, author, documentary filmmaker, advocate, actress, and host as well too. And of course, just quickly here, it's been great and love having you on, and we got to do this again too another time. And what else can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond?
2021, my God, already with these shows, getting them out there, booking the guests, doing the film with the pandemic puppy segment in it. I've started to, thank goodness, things are normalizing a little bit, get out there for auditions again. Still, a lot of things are online, right? As you know, a lot of people hire us to do live streams in our very own homes. I am now expected, if I even do a product thing, I have to have like my own studio set up.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it is insane. I did a film on Skype, Mike. I mean, I really couldn't wrap my head around that one. And the person who was doing it said to me, "Oh, don't worry about the script." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean don't worry about the script? There's a script here." He said, "Yeah, you're just going to be reading it off the computer and looking into the camera." I tell you something, it was so easy and so credible. These are the kinds of things that we have to do to, get through these times as best we can. I say to people that are performers out there, any kind of entertainer, musicians, hang in there. It's going to get better. It is getting better.
Mm-hmm. And that is a very good point. And once again, where can we find your brand new podcast, Triversity Talk, If These Walls Could Talk, and more? And of course, who wants to get into cooking, pandemic cooking? Where can we find those?
One-stop shopping with me. I make it easy for you. You can go to my YouTube channel, which is called Wendy Stuart TV. You can go, and all my shows are on there, and anything I've co-hosted on. You can find out everything about me and anything about me. And please subscribe to Wendy Stuart TV. Leave comments. I not only read them, I get back to you. You can find me on Facebook under Wendy Stuart. You can find my films on Facebook, Visual Journeys, Our Stories. You can find me on Instagram under She's the Last Model Standing. I have a lot of handles, Mike, but not nearly as many as you do.
Well, so next time when we have you on, maybe you can get ahead of me on that one, and I'll start learning from you. So we certainly will do that. And once again, we're with Wendy Stuart on the Mike Wagner Show. A very big thank you for your time as always. You're absolutely fantastic. You're definitely welcome to come back on. Just give us an update. Let us know what you're up to, and definitely keep us up to date. And don't forget to keep in touch since you're the last person standing. And please leave the elephant dung at home. Okay, so.
Mike, thank you so much for having me on